Hello everyone, welcome back to MCOM classes. We will continue our discussion on the previous year question of the year 2022 MCOM CUET. Okay, so let us discuss the questions that we were doing. The first question for today is, which of the following is not applicable to responsibility account? Accounting center, cost center, investment center, or profit center. Now, these are different centers. Okay, when we're talking about cost center, we are actually talking about the cost of a particular, those goods which are related into that particular cost center. All the costs are going to be a certain, or all the costs are going to be attributed to that particular cost center. Okay, so when we are talking about responsibility accounting, we have the cost center, we have investment center, we have profit center. That means whatever profit are being attributed to a particular center, to a particular location, suppose. So that particular profit is attributed to that particular location. Hence, the profit center is, of course, a responsibility accounting. What is not applicable to responsibility accounting is accounting center. So the correct answer is accounting center. The main difference between marginal costing and absorption costing lies in the treatment of direct cost, fixed costs, fixed overhead, variable overhead, or semi-variable overhead. When we're talking about marginal costing, marginal costing takes into account all the different, the minute costs that are, applicable from starting from the direct cost to the indirect cost to the factory expenses and everything. When we're talking about absorption costing, the absorption costing takes into basis the different types of, the different units and the different outputs that are produced. Hence, for when we're talking about the difference between marginal costing and absorption costing, it is because of the fixed overhead, the way the fixed overhead is treated, that defines the difference between a marginal costing and absorption costing. Moving on, we have a match the following question. Okay, so the list one has a reducing capital, sales is greater than variable cost, sales is greater than break-even sales, and takeover of firm. Here we have the results: contribution, reorganization, absorption, or IRDB. Okay, so when we are talking about reducing capital, we are talking about a reorganization. So we are reorganizing. Somehow there is, suppose there is internal reconstruction, there is some reorganization of the organization. When we're talking about sales is greater than variable cost, we're talking about contribution. Sales greater than variable cost is contribution. Sales greater than break-even sales is IRDB. Okay, and the takeover of firm is finally is the absorption. So the correct answer is A2, B1, C4, and D3. This is the correct answer. Internal auditor is appointed or removed by management, shareholders, government, or CAG. That is the controller, auditor, comptroller, or auditor general. So the correct answer is management, because when we're talking about internal auditor, he is a person who is being appointed by the management. Okay, and his removal also depends upon the management's decision and not on shareholders, of course, not government and the CAG. Detection of errors and fraud in audit is the primary objective, secondary objective, specific objective, or not relevant objective. It is one of the primary objective of detection of errors and frauds. Okay, so the correct answer should be primary objective and not secondary objective. Objective of transportation problem is to maximize profit, minimize profit, neither maximize nor minimize profit, maximize losses. Now this question again was dropped by CUET, by NTA, because the options were a little, it was not really as satisfying. But the most accurate answer that we can give is maximize profit. Absolutely, there is no question on that. So A should be the answer. Of course, there's a particular answer should be A only. But since the options did not have only A, minimizing profit or maximizing losses can never be the answer. So the correct answer, as given by NTA also, was A and C, that is maximize profit and neither maximize nor minimize profit. Correct answer is C. Under annuity due, payment is due at the end of the time, beginning of the time, middle of the time, none of these. Very simple. Annuity due is a concept where the payment is supposed to be made beginning of the time. That means when the annuity is purchased, when the particular policy is purchased, all the payment has to be done at the beginning of the time. The following is a short-term cost function. So the total cost is equal to 200 plus 5 plus 2q squared. Find out the optimum level of output when AC is equal to MC. So when we differentiate this, when we are going to differentiate, we get 0 plus 5 plus 4q. Again, we're going to differentiate. So what we're going to get, the answer is 10. Okay, so the correct answer is going to be 10. The mean monthly salary paid to 77 employees in a company was rupees 78. The mean salary of 32 of them was rupees 45, and of the other 25 was 82. What is the salary of the remaining? So when we generally when we have questions like this, where the mean monthly salary of the total employees are given, and then partly that they are given. So what we do is we calculate the total, that is 77 into 78. We're going to calculate the total salary of the employees, that is the total 77 employees. Then we're going to calculate separately for the 32 of them and separately for 25 of them, and then we're going to subtract it. The answer that we're going to get is 125.8, which is going to be the correct answer for the mean salary of the remaining people. The rank correlation coefficient between marks obtained by 10 students in English and mathematics was found to be 0.5. Find the sum of squares of the difference of ranks. Again, in this type of question, we have the formula which is applicable for finding the squares of the difference of marks. When we apply the formula on the basis of the data given, we get the answer as 82.5.